Going on, world? DS1 Ross, and I'm back. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who support me and this platform, SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. It's very much appreciated. Much love to everybody. Tonight, we're going to delve in a little deeper, family. Like I said, like I promised, we're going to dig deeper into this concept that I came up with. What I think is my solution. If someone ever asked me what would be my solution for Black people, and it's heal before we build. You know, lately I've been hearing a lot of people talking about mental illness. A lot of Black people suffer from PTSD, and along with a lot of other things. But I've never heard anyone say that that is what we suffer from the most, and from that comes the result of what we see today. We're dealing with our people. Because I believe, well, I don't believe, but I know the concept of as above, so below is true. As within, so without is true. That's a universal concept. So I don't have to believe it's true. I know it's true because you see it every day. As a man thinketh, so he is so. That's the same concept of as above, so below. That is what, you know, um, about 15 years ago, when everybody was pushing a book called The Secret, and they were talking about the law of attraction and all of that. If you constantly think about something and you also do the necessary steps, eventually you're going to get what you thought about. And that also ties into the biblical thing, faith without works are dead. So you can't just, sit back and ponder on things and think that they're just going to come to life. But there's a factor of wisdom, which is the application of knowledge, which is you actually putting what you know to work. You see? And I feel like all of the things that we say we suffer from as a people comes from the lack of healing. It comes from all of those things. It comes from the mental illness and all of these things. Because as above, so below. If all of our people are mentally jacked up, this is why our physical experience is jacked up. So this is why I say we have to heal before we build. And like I said, I'm going to start delving deeper into this. So tonight, we're going to discuss John Bowlby. Who was John Bowlby? And we're going to get into the attachment theory. And I'm going to play a video for you guys in a minute. But before we do that, I'm going to let you guys come through. If you're here, like the stream and share it. But we're going to delve deep into this attachment theory. Last time we discussed pain bodies. how pain bodies are created. What are they? If you haven't caught that stream, go and check it out. It's called Discussing Pain Bodies. Check that out. See, when we breaking down or when we going into the factual aspect behind heal before we build, it's very important that y'all check these streams out because you want to know or you want to basically see if what I'm saying is real or not. So I'm going to show and prove that what I'm saying is true. And I'm not going to just say it based on my observation, but I'm going to go to science. I'm going to go to science. So this is why tonight we're going to be talking about John Bowlby and the attachment theory. Because a lot of us are attached to the wrong things and the wrong people. And a lot of us don't understand why. See, the attachment theory also ties into the pain bodies that I was talking about. And why some people can't let certain people or certain energies go out of their life. And it's because of an attachment. So like I said, I'm gonna give y'all a minute to come through. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my brother Sonny. Shout out to the great moderator, Poetic Kel. Shout out to the Grinch. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it, man. So make sure, like I said, y'all like the stream, share it out, and we're gonna get it in. Much love to everybody. So I'm gonna just go ahead, man. I'm gonna get into it. My mods, make sure y'all share the links in the chat. So first, we're gonna start off with who was John Bowlby. John Bowlby was a British psychologist, psychiatrist, and psychoanalyst, notable for his interest in child development and for his pioneering work in the attachment theory. So this is what he was famous for. He was known for coming up with this attachment theory. He was a British psychologist, psychiatrist, and psychoanalyst. That's who John Bowlby was. We're not going to get into too much of his life or none of that. So now we're going to go to what is the attachment theory by John Bowlby? What is it? It says Bowlby's evolutionary theory of attachment suggests that children come into the world biologically pre-programmed to form attachments with others because this will help them survive. Let me read that again. Bowlby's evolutionary theory of attachment suggests that children come into the world biologically pre-programmed. So that means a child is being programmed while in the womb. The child is being pre-programmed in a woman's womb. So when you see a lot of these children come out today and they wild and reckless and crazy, don't blame these kids. They were pre-programmed with that shit when they were being formed in the womb of their mothers. You see? This is why when a woman is pregnant, it is very important she's at peace and she's around the right people with the right energy. Because children come into the world biologically pre-programmed. So they already come out the womb with a program. You see? They already come out with a program. Because everything the mother is taking in, the baby is eating off of it. Even the thoughts of the mother, the feelings, the emotions, all those things are formulating your child's thoughts. It says the theory of attachment suggests that children come into the world biologically pre-programmed to form attachments with others because this will help them to survive. Attachment theory is a psychological model attempting to describe the dynamics of long-term and short-term interpersonal relationships between humans. Let me read that again. The attachment theory is a psychological model attempting to describe the dynamics of long-term and short-term interpersonal relationships between humans. Now let's read this. Why is attachment so important? So before I read this, my question to the chat room is, what are you attached to? Why are you attached to these things? When you come in contact with these things that you're attached to, what pops up in your mind? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you think? So they ask the question, why is attachment so important? It seems intuitive that a secure child-parent bond, let me read that again. I'm gonna read it slow. I hope y'all listening. It seems intuitive that a secure child-parent bond is important for survival and development. So you wonder why these children don't listen? Because it goes back to the pre-programming that we just read about. But attachment is important because It secures the child-parent bond, which is important for survival and development. So a child growing up in the world without the proper bond with their parents will have a problem psychologically. You see? They learn through their parents' caring behaviors to have a sense of worth. You know, a lot of these children nowadays been committing suicide. Why? Because they don't have a sense of worth. Because what? Because the child and parent bond has been broken. You see? They learn through their parents' caring behaviors. So what if you grew up with a parent who treated you very bad? You grow up and have what? A low sense of worth. And you become unable to empathize and cooperate with others. You become dysfunctional. You become dysfunctional. These social skills help them to form strong relationships with peers in the future. So if you was raised in a proper parental environment and your parents showed you these caring behaviors, you would have high sense of worth and be able to empathize and cooperate with others. You wonder why we don't have unity. We can't cooperate with each other. Why? Because of something that happened in our childhood where we became unattached from our parents. And it's like as time go on, parents start caring less and less about their children. Why you think these kids acting up? Because don't nobody give a fuck about them. That's why. Because of the child-parent bond, which is important for survival and development. So you may have a lot of people who grew up with an unhealthy child-parent bond, and they may survive, but they are not fully developed. They're dysfunctional in their development, which leads to them not being able to cooperate with others. You see? Why do you think you hear a lot of these kids saying, man, don't nobody care about me? See, the youth don't give up because the parents didn't. See, we got to stop thinking that feeding, clothing, and housing our children is raising them. That's not raising a child. You know what that's called? That's called maintenance. That's what that's called. You're maintaining your child. You're not raising them. And when that child and parent bond is not present, you will have a child that go out in the world and seek this bond from other people. This is why you have the men who go out and look for women that's going to take care of them like their mother. This is why you have the young girl that's running around being with different men looking for her father. It's because of that broken bond. And a lot of times, the bond was broken before the child even came out. The child was broken in the woman's womb because the theory of attachment suggests that children come into the world biologically pre-programmed. They come already programmed. You see? We have to understand what we're dealing with here. This shit is deeper than what we think, man. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to this video. We're gonna get to this video in a minute. Shout out to everybody in the chat too. Shout out to my OG, Muhammad is the one. Shout out to Monique Hill. Shout out to Wolf. What's going on, y'all? Oh yeah, exactly. What's going on, cool gent? Make sure y'all like the stream and share the show. Now what I'm gonna do, y'all, is I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Now, the video is 7 minutes and 35 seconds. But pay attention to the artwork. Pay attention to the illustrations. Don't just listen to the words. I need y'all to pay attention to the illustrations. And by the way, YouTube, this is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. So like I said, family, this is a 7 minute and 35 second video, and I will be right back when it's done. gonna stop the screen share. Um, my bad. I wasn't looking in the chat, bro. Yeah, I didn't. My bad. I didn't notice y'all couldn't hear it, but I know y'all saw the. I know y'all saw the artwork. So what I'm gonna do, being that y'all couldn't hear, and I'm gonna work on that because that was my first time, screen sharing. So what I'll do is everything that they talked about in the video, I'm gonna go over and we'll just read it. I'll read it to you guys. Pardon me for that. This is my first time screen sharing. So, you know, so what they basically talked about and was displaying in the video was they was displaying the types of attachment and what happens as a result of each of these attachments. So we're gonna go and we're gonna read the type of attachments that they are. Let's let's see. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. Thanks for everybody tuning in, by the way. Make sure y'all smash that like button and share the show. Let's see. You have you have a secure attachment, which is a secure attachment is it says these infants show distress upon separation, but sought comfort and were easily comforted when the parents returned. That was in the video where you saw the kid crying, but when the mom came and picked him up and just, rocked him a little bit, he stopped crying. Then you have the anxious resistant attachment. And it says a smaller portion of infants experienced greater levels of distress and upon reuniting with the parents seemed both to seek comfort and to attempt to punish the parents for leaving. Let me read that again. The anxious resistant attachment is when the parents leave a child, when the child reunites with the parents, the child seeks comfort, but also attempts to punish the parents for leaving. So, with the anxious resistant attachment, a lot of children have resentment for their parents. They still love their parents, but they have resentment. And What happens is this is how you get when you watch these talk shows and you hear these out of control teens, and when they actually talk to these psychiatrists, the first thing that they tell a psychiatrist is that, you know, my mother abandoned me or my dad abandoned me. And I don't know why he abandoned me. And to this day, I don't know how to forgive them. And this is why you have some children that act out because they still love their parents, but they want their parents to pay for them for what they felt at the time where their parents weren't present. So for instance, if you have a young boy or a young girl who was molested by somebody in their family, maybe a family member, maybe a friend to the family, maybe in school, and the parents did not actively do what they were supposed to do to not only protect the child, but to also have this relationship, this open relationship with their child to where their children can come to them and tell them what's going on, or even just be able to look and see that it's something wrong. Because, see, when you have a bond with your child, you can just look at them or you can hear the tone in their voice and see that something's wrong. But see, when that child and parent bond is broken at some point, this is where you see predators start coming around your children. And what'll happen is with the anxious resistant, the child seeks comfort and they want to punish their parents for not being there. So they're always going to throw that in their parents' face. Well, you wasn't there for me when this happened to me. You wasn't there for me when I graduated high school. You wasn't there for me when this happened. That is the anxious resistant attachment. Then you have the avoidant attachment. It says infants in the third category showed no stress or minimal stress upon separation from the parents and either ignored the parents upon reuniting or actively avoided the parents. This is where you have the young man who was pretty much thrown to the side or wasn't claimed by a parent. You know, this is the common father son dynamic when the father leaves the kid, and when the child gets old enough, it's like they don't even care about that parent never even being there, and they don't try to reunite with them, or when they do, they avoid them, meaning they may visit that missing parent, but they don't talk. They just shut down. This is the avoidant attachment. You see? It also says it makes intuitive sense that a child's attachment style is largely a function of the caregiving the child receives in his or her early years. So the way a child is attached to you is based on how you raise that child. So a lot of these children are not being raised, they're being maintained. And I did a stream on that. Y'all can check that out too. It's called Raise or Maintain. Are these children properly being raised or are they just being maintained? Because you know, when you have a car, you have to do maintenance on your car. You have to clean your car. You know, you have to check your brakes. You got to check your tires. You got to get oil changes. That's what a lot of these children are being treated like. They're not being raised. They're not being cared for. It also says that those who received support and love from their caregivers, support and love from their caregivers, are likely to be secure, while those who experienced inconsistency or negligence from their caregivers are likely to feel more anxiety surrounding their relationship with their parents. You see? You see how important it is, or how big of a role you play when you're a parent. It's not just about you putting food on the table. Are you actually caring for your children? Can your child come to you and talk to you? Do you support your child? Do you show them love? Do you know how to? Because you have parents who were dysfunctional children who turn around and had children, and they don't know how to properly love and support their children because they have never received proper love and support. And this is how you grow up with the ancient resistant type of child, the anxious resistant. That is the child who grows up with resentment for a parent, but still love their parent. But but they want the parent to explain why they did what they done to them. And then you have the avoidant attachment. Those are your children who don't even care. They've been treated so bad and rejected so much that avoiding their parents is the best thing that they can do. And they're going to naturally do it because they don't even want to deal with it. The same way their parents didn't want to deal with them. It says, however, the attachment theory takes it one step further, applying what we know about attachment in children to relationships we engage in as adults. Isn't that what I was just describing? These relationships, particularly intimate or romantic relationships, are also directly related to the attachment styles as children and the care we received from our primary caregivers. So the same way a young girl deals with her father is the same way she's going to deal with you. That same attachment style. It's either going to be a secure attachment, a anxious resistant attachment, or an avoidant attachment. The same way a boy was raised by his mother and the things that he had to internalize dealing with his mother, he's going to develop a specific attachment style when he deal with women. You see? But see, a lot of us don't understand that it goes this deep. See, we just say, oh, well, if he don't respect his mother, he can't respect a woman. But it's deeper than that. He doesn't respect his mother because his mother never respected him. So in return, he don't know how to respect women because the woman, the first woman, the one who pre-programs him in her womb with the things she say to him, the things that he's listening to when he's in her womb. So this is what we're dealing with, family. This is what we're dealing with. This shit is scientific. This is not no shit made up. I already told y'all who John Bowlby was. He was a psychologist, a British psychologist, psychiatrist, and a psychoanalyst. Now, let's get into what John Bowlby talks about maternal deprivation. Here's the model right here. I'm going to share my screen again. Y'all see that? Primary carer's behavior toward the child's working model of itself. So if a child was raised around positivity and love, the result is them growing up and becoming secure. If they grew up being unloved and rejected, they become avoidant. You see, this is what we're dealing with when we're dealing with our women, because they grew up being unloved and rejected. They're not being grown. Us as Black folks are not being grown and groomed in positivity and love. We're being raised in a unloved, our this is what our women are dealing with. Being unloved and rejected. So they become avoidant. And the men are growing up and being angry and confused, which is why we are resistant. This is science. You wonder why so many Black men are angry and don't have much direction? Because of how we were raised. You see that? The result of growing up around anger and confusion leads to us being resistant, us being shut in. And the fact that our sisters are being raised in unloved environments and are being rejected, they grow up and become avoidant. You see? This is what we're dealing with. But if we was raised in positive and loving environments, that produces secure children. You see? So I'm gonna stop sharing that. So as y'all can see how important the attachment theory is. And if I'm gonna give you some more examples. If you're dealing with a woman, and this is a lot of our Black women, if you're with a woman who grew up and never felt loved and always felt rejected, this is why it's hard to get her to cooperate, because she's an avoidant. She wants to be, she wants to avoid, because her avoiding things keeps her safe. Because she don't understand that part of positivity and love is direction from a man. But being that she didn't get that from her father, she's going to naturally avoid it from her man, whether she know it's right or not. Because you have to understand, when they're talking about the pre-programming process, and let's not even include how a lot of these young women watch their mothers get beat by their fathers. They watch their aunts get beat by their uncles, which also tells them in their mind that they are unloved and rejected. You see? Let me go back to that model. because y'all need to really get this. You see that? Unloved and rejected. Unloved and rejected equals avoidant. You see? And her feeling loved and accepted by the first man in her life would make her secure. But her being void of that love and acceptance, she's become avoidant. When a boy does not receive positivity and love from its mother, he becomes angry and confused. And he becomes resistant to loving his women. Because him remaining resistant will help him survive. You see? If a young boy is not raised around positivity and love when dealing with his father, he becomes angry and confused and becomes resistant to manhood. You understand that? So understand what we're dealing with here. This is science. This is not, you know, for play. This is real. So this is why I say it's important that we must heal before we decide to build families, business relationships, all of these things, because they need to be built on or with functional people, secure people. A lot of us are not secure. A lot of us are avoidant and resistant. This is why there's no black community. This is why we cannot cooperate. This is why we cannot unify to build the community. This is why. Because we have generations and generations of this. Women being unloved and rejected, and our men being angry and confused. We have generations of this. Generations of it. You see? This is a cycle that's been repeating itself for a long time. A long time. Our women being unloved and rejected. Our young men being angry and confused. You see that? That's the attachment theory, family. That's the attachment theory by John Bowlby. If y'all want to look it up some more, just go and look it up. You know, shout out to everybody in the chat. If y'all have any questions, y'all can put your questions in the chat room and maybe I can answer them. Or, I'll just go through y'all statements. I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. What's going on, Rob from Brooklyn? Shout out to Deep in Thought. Shout out to the grinder. He says, be in a box that she is so familiar that keeps her safe instead of being out the box to feel the love that she deserved. Yeah. And it's because to be in the box is to be safe. Because these things that the avoidant the and the resistance is nothing but defense mechanisms. I appreciate that, sis. These are defense mechanisms in order for them to survive. So you have a lot of our women avoiding the black man's love. They're avoiding it. And then you have a lot of us men being resistant to a woman's love because we don't know what it is when we come in contact with it. Because of what? Because of us not growing up in positivity and love. So we're insecure. And being avoidant and resistant are nothing but other forms of insecurity. You see? If you're constantly unloved and rejected, when you see love or you think love is in your midst, you're going to avoid it. You're going to avoid it. Hence why a lot of men and women ruin good relationships because they weren't ready to accept, because they're so used to being rejected. How could you feel accepted or believe that this person has accepted you if all your life you've been rejected? You're going to avoid it. You're not going to believe it. You're not going to trust it. If you grow up not being loved as a man or as a woman, you can grow up and be angry and confused, which will lead to you being resistant to love, to growth, to progress. See, because the avoidant and the resistant could be male or female. You have avoidant men and you have resistant men. You have avoidant women and you have resistant women. And see, the resistant woman represents the strag. That's the strag because she's angry and confused. So she's taking a much harder approach where the hurt woman is the avoidant. She's the avoidant. You see? And it's the same thing with men. This is why you have black men today where you have women saying that men won't man up because they're avoiding manhood because they didn't grow up and was felt loved by their fathers or men who were in charge. So they can feel secure enough and have enough confidence so when they become that age, manhood kicks in automatically. See, manhood is not going to kick in if you grow up feeling unloved and rejected, or you grew up and felt anger and confused about why you're not loved, why you're not accepted. You see, this is why our relationships are failing. This is why people don't want to get married because guess what? They are avoiding it. They are resisting it. That's all they're doing. They're avoiding it because that's a way to protect themselves. It's a defense mechanism. Or you can just resist it. You see? So when I talk about healing before building, this is not no shit I just thought sounded cute. This is real. Shout out to my man John Doe. Thanks for tuning in, bro. This is real. This is science. You know what PTSD comes from? Not being loved. Post traumatic stress disorder comes from not being loved, not being accepted. Comes from growing up and not being loved. So people grow up and be angry and confused. See, these things are developed in children when they're young. This is why we must understand and recognize our flaws, man, and try to heal from those wounds because you don't want to implement that energy and those thoughts into your woman's womb because you're going to put those things into your children. This is why you should be mindful on who you have children by. And that just don't go for women, it go for men too. Because if you have a baby by a resistant, if you have a baby by a strag, what do you think they're pre-programming your child with? And you know what's gonna happen? Your son will become a guard dog for the matriarchy, and your daughter will become a splitting image of you. You see? So it's not just about, oh, women need to watch who they lay with. Yeah, and so do men. But see, most of us as men don't care who we lay down with because we're not secure. We're not secure within ourselves. So we get whatever comes our way. We get with anything that accepts us. You see? This is where the dysfunction comes from. This is where it comes from. So, if anybody want to come up here real quick and talk about this, I'm going to put the link out there. Let me know if the link doesn't work in the chat room. I'll send you the link. If you want to get on for a minute, I'm not going to keep it too long. But there's the link in the chat room. If you would like to come on and touch on this subject, you can. Don't keep, if you're going to come up here, keep your keep it kind of short. Cuz like I said, we're not going to stay too much longer. Mama says facts, and how can the cycle be broken, Sheep? The cycle can be broken by making sure that we are raising our children in a positive and a loving environment around positive and loving people, because that is going to produce secure adults. And secure adults focus on positive things. They focusing on progress. But if we remain broken and we keep mating with broken people, we're going to continue to create broken people. That's how we fix it, OG. We got to heal before we build. We have to heal before we decide to build a family. And some of us, we don't make things right until we get older and after we done had children. So I'm not saying that, this is going to automatically occur, because that's not reality. But this is what we must teach our children. If now we know this, we must teach our children as such. You know? We have to create more progressive people, man. Progressive children. And it starts in the womb of our women. So if we're leaving women while they're pregnant, then can you imagine some of the things that they're telling the baby while it's in her womb? And the things that she's telling the baby, it's pre-programming the baby. It's just me and you, baby. It's just me and you against the world. It's nobody else. Hence why these little boys who grow up without dads stay attached to their mother, because he was attached to his mother
If I was to give you one of
in the womb of his mother. He was attached there. He was taught to stay joined at the hip of his mother in her womb. You see? What's going on, Amanda?
Hey guys, how are you? I was muted up. Blessings to everybody on the panel and everybody in the chat.
So what you got to say about the topic?
I want her to finish and I want you to finish. Because you guys are making good points and some people in the chat are making good points. And at the end of the day, I believe is the way we all been brought up, and however we've been brought up, we all gonna have an aspect and an outlook on however. Matter of fact, it's not even about how we brought up, because let me keep it gangsta. The way I was brought up and what I saw around me, I vowed to never be it. So what I'm saying is eat the meat, throw away the bone, but I'm just listening to y'all, and you know what I mean? Because everybody's story is different. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just listening. I have something to say about it, but I'm just gonna let her finish.
Well, I mean, I agree. I agree with what you said. And for the most part, either a person is going to be a secure person, they're going to be an avoidant type of person, or they're going to be resistant. Now, you said you grew up around things that you vowed to never be. So that sounds like, you have become an avoidant. You know, you love the people that you grew up around, but like the definition say, you want to quote unquote like punish them. Not punish them, but you want them to understand and to know how that made you feel growing up around that type of shit, and why you never vowed to be that way, and why you even probably left and probably went off on your own at some point. Is that true?
Actually, you hit it right. You hit it right on the nose, and I cannot dispute it. You hit it right on the darn nose. For me to try to dispute it, I'd be a liar. But you, as a man, for you to pick up what I just said, and I didn't say much, but you just read me. Correct. And with
And
that being said, go ahead.
nah, go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm saying, with that being said, let me just elaborate a little bit on what I meant when I said what I said. I told my mom this. I said, Mom, what I'm watching you guys go through, I never want to be. And you guys are great women. Now, let me tell you something. If you're bad, you're bad. If you're good, you're good. I don't care if you're my family or not. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. However, which I was talking about, and you touched on earlier when you guys was talking, you damn near hit, it sounded like you was talking about my damn family. that part. Because what I watched is this, you know, all the women in my family that I am okay, poetic, hi baby.
Hi,
The
twin.
one hi. The women in my family, what I watched, am I saying that they crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's and did everything right? No, hell to the no, because they got issues too. Matter of fact, I'm a biggest gangster. The women in my family, they are already my great mama, which is my great great grandmother. She was a ride or die chick. Didn't take no shit, and she was mean, and she will fight man or woman. Now, with that being said, she raised my grandma and them to think that way and to be that way and to act that way. Now, with that being said, some of them chose to not be like Mama. They chose to be themselves, which my mom was one, and matter of fact, I'm going to put it like this. My grandmother, that was her mother's, I'm talking about Mama was my grandmother's mother. And my grandmother even saw that she didn't want to be that way, although she was raised up in that environment. Nevertheless, because she was stuck in the mentality of what she already saw and knew, she didn't know how to, she knew she wanted to separate herself, but there was no tools or nobody to teach her how to separate herself. So what did she end up doing? Being a product of what she seen, being a product of what she said she didn't want to be, because there was nobody out there in the world to grab her by the hand. And at the same time, my grandfather, he was a right, let me put it this way. He was a provider, but he beat my grandma, and he was an alcoholic. He stabbed my grandma. As a matter of fact, why she's dead today is because of that stab. And she died later because of that stab. But what I'm trying to say is this: men and women, we really, let's keep it gangsta, don't have a right to point no fingers at either or. You just need to find out, like, the time we're living in now. We're living in 2019. Nothing new under the sun. The shit we going through now is the shit that they went through then, and the shit they went through way back in the Bible days, the Holy Quran days, the fucking Jewish, Israelites, whatever you studying. Same shit, nothing new under the sun. So where we're at right now, because of the people that I've noticed and I'm connecting myself to, and I'm listening to the dialogue of everybody's conversation, we know that. And matter of fact, let me tell you this, Sheep, your other live that you did early, God, brother, bless you. I shared it on my community wall. You know why? Everything you said, everybody needs to hear. Are we saying we all saying everything politically correct according to this damn world? No. But according to the spiritual being, yes. Thank you for that, brother. So I just trying to say, what my moral of my story is this. We cannot even look at our ancestors to try to figure out our today. Okay? Because they were even fucking lost, broken. Most of them only knew church and they follow whatever. I ain't even get into that because that's a whole nother subject. But what I want to say is this: everything that you guys said, yeah, you guys are on it. And my opinion is this: we had to come out our parents' coochie. Let me not parents. We had to come out our mom's coochie by ourselves, and we got to get in that casket by ourselves. So whatever you believe in your heart and whatever you feel that things need to go, unless you can prove why it need to be that way, then I'm gonna need you to take several seats. But when people are speaking righteous and you are going to, I'm gonna need you to take several seats too. But thank you for this panel because everything y'all said is on point, and I'm done.
Appreciate that, Amanda. Appreciate that. Want to touch on that, sis? What's going on, Kels?
Hey, bro, how you doing? Hi, twin. Um, I just want to say what you and twin said was very, very true. Also, some people grow up and they kind of learn from their experience in the past, and it kind of makes them stronger, and they kind of vow not to be that way or be in that situation, or if they ever have children, let them fall into that situation. Some people, like me, I was raised kind of like in a Christian, my family are Christians. But as I got older, I realized that I'm not one. Doesn't mean that I'm a bad person, but sometimes you just kind of learn yourself throughout your experience and throughout your life. So sometimes your past, whether if it's good or bad, it can either make you weak or it can make you stronger. Some people, swim, some people sink. I was one of those ones who decided to keep my head up high. You know, um, I wouldn't say my past is a bad experience, but I've had experiences. I learned from them, and I vow to never go down that path again. And that's pretty much my little short summary.
Now let me ask you this, Kels.
Yes.
Um, Not to delve too deep, but because I know this is kind of a touchy subject when we talking about it.
Okay.
But the things that you went through or the things that you saw going on in your family and stuff like that, um, how did it make you feel? Did it make you angry?
I mean, it made me. I wouldn't say angry. I would say a little bit angry, but I had a lot of questions.
So it made you so you're kind of like Amanda. You're more of the avoidant type. It made you want to stay away from people
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
because you felt like that's how you would feel safe to not deal with people and to be
I
around people like that.
absolutely isolated. I would
Right.
say that that has worked for me to stay away,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I became very isolated. That could
Right.
be a good thing. That could be a good thing and a bad thing
Right.
because now until this day, I still don't want to be around nobody. You know what I mean? And I always got questions. Everything that happens, everything that I see, and everything that I go through, I always have questions.
Yeah. That's yep. That is the avoidant.
Yes,
That's
and
the
I always
avoidant.
right, and I've always like for example, my mom. Rest in peace of my mom. She although she was married before that, she didn't have the best luck with men. You know what I'm saying? Did her
And,
dirty.
and I want to agree with you, and that will make us do that. Not have the best luck of. And matter of fact, let me tell you something. I love you, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Kels. You hit it on the nose. If we can't trust our fucking family, how we gonna have a damn best luck with a man?
Right. And so and you made a good point right there, because with that being said, I vowed to never be like go through what she went through when it came to men. So you know what I mean. Although I've been in decent relationships, I kept them short,
Right.
and I
Because
never and
you avoided going to that next level with
right
your
and
feelings and stuff.
right and that kind of it kind of went into my head, and that's one of the reasons why I never wanted kids and be married. Honestly,
I feel
Right.
you, twin. I feel you, twin. I'm a mother. I feel you, twin. the thing is with me, I'm the difference. Like, I always desired a happily, well, when I say happily ever after, we already know that things are not going to be perfect. So when I say happily ever after, meaning we learn one another, we learn to agree to disagree. We learn that that woman or that man needs space. We learn not what push their buttons. We learn. But my thing is this, back to what you said um earlier, your family, because that's the basic and the roots of where we came
Right.
from.
That's the core.
Thank you. So if that shit is out of order, how the hell we expect a relationship between a woman and a man to be in order? You already fucked up.
I could agree. And although it didn't mentally disturb me, I definitely didn't want to drag nobody else down. You get what I'm saying? You know, like even if I did or didn't, I definitely didn't want anybody to feel like I was a problem.
And I agree with you, Poetic, because let me tell you something. In Sheep, as strong as you are, and as much as I hear and I've learned from you, I need you to answer this. Because I go on a lot of pages with brothers or whatever, and the things they be saying, whatever. What Poetic just said, I don't want to bring nobody else down with my emotional bags or my issues or my whatever I went through, either be a May with my family or my
Hmm.
past relationships. I don't want to bring that to you. That's like bringing a bunch of stinking ass garbage to a mother effing um clean site. That's not gonna work. So with that being said, we all gotta realize we all got issues that effed us up in our past tense, whether it be our family, friends, and whatever who did it. But we can't come into, whether it's a friend, a lover, a family member, you know what I mean, associate. We cannot interact with those people according to what we already been through, because we bring in anger, and we already got a negative wall up. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody say cat, you gonna say dog. When somebody so that means we're not listening to one another to find out what's really the problem. And it goes back to what y'all said earlier. We all have, and let me keep it this real, and I'm gonna throw this out there. You cannot expect to have um a relationship with the opposite sex if your immediate relationship from where you came from is fucked up. Period. Is not gonna work.
Yes, and then I wanted to say another thing. Although, of course, in my adult years, I ran into some roadblocks. Nobody knew because I wasn't gonna bring anybody into my problems. I handled it myself because what I don't want to do is when when I feel like I'm going through some things and I feel defeated, I'm not gonna make nobody else feel that way. So no one will never know.
Exact is you're speaking positive facts. And but at the same time, let me tell you this that I had to learn. You are so 100% correct though. You never let nobody see what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going through a bad day, if you come outside, don't let nobody see that, because then they're gonna start judging you. Then they're gonna start assuming. Then they're gonna
Only
put their whole
only God could judge
narrative.
me. Only God could judge me. So everybody else's
Exactly.
opinion about me is insignificant.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is at the same time, we got to understand we are human beings. You understand? I don't care how tough we try to be. I don't care how much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding we inquired, we are still human. So certain things people say or do to us will get to us. So although we say I really don't give a damn what you say about me and what you think about me because you don't know me, being human is gonna touch you in maybe a slight kind of way. You brush it off,
Right,
but we
but you,
gotta
the twin, but you gotta mean something to me in order for that to hurt me. If you
understandable.
don't
That's
mean,
why I'm getting to,
yeah, if you don't mean
and that's
anything,
exactly
then it's insignificant.
That's exact. You finished my story, and that's
You
where I was going with the
from
end.
that I
If
really,
you
of
don't mean nothing to me,
course
why
I,
should it matters? You just summed up my story, twin. If you don't mean, here's what we gotta understand: these people don't know us. These people don't mean ash to us. These people don't even like. Actually, they're lost in their sauce. So you think I give a faheezy and a greasy and a sleazy side what you think and feel about me? I have nothing to prove to you. But at the same time, let's keep it real. We can have that mindset, but certain little things that people will say and we elaborate on it and retaliate on it, we letting them know that they got to us. We letting them know that, yeah, you plucked the nerve. No, I'm not like F this world when it comes to relationships or whatever. Whoever loves you loves you. Whoever's supposed to be in your corner will be, ride or die, agree to disagree. They ain't going nowhere. But what I'm saying is this: when you gotta go back and forth to prove yourself to a mofo, that means they not meant to be in your circle. It's simple.
that is absolutely true, and especially when they don't know much about you. Because I had a situation, you know what I'm saying, where somebody was like attacking, my age, and me not having any kids at my age. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that's kind of like a strategy for that person to get into my business. So when people don't know your business, they kind of pick at stuff like that to try to get in it.
And you're 100% correct. But listen to what Sheep Say Sleep say when he go on all his lives. That part, Kels. We're a family. You know what I mean? Listen, what you just said ain't gonna stop.
It
That
definitely
part.
not. That's why you got to have that discipline
That
to
part.
understand that it's
Listen.
not going to stop, and that it's going to be. You just got to turn your back on it, just like I did.
But see, let me speak on that real quick, Kels. See, this is why you have become avoidant and resistant to even see when that guy said that shit to you, you know what that did? That reinforced why you are resistant
Yep,
to
yep,
having a man in a family.
yep.
And you avoid the thought of that because that's the way you protect yourself from scrutiny.
Mhm.
So now it's like, damn, this nigga just scrutinized me because I'm this age and don't have no children. So how how it can affect you is it can make you feel unaccepted. It can make you feel rejected as a woman.
Absolutely.
And deep down, you may still want to have children, but this bozo,
Mhm. Bozo, yes.
this bozo ass dude is making you feel like, damn, well,
I better hurry up and dig up somebody and have some kids. But and it's like,
no, that's what he hope you do. But but that's making you avoid it even more. Because now you're starting to say, well, damn, it must not be a lot of men who may want to have a baby with just because of what
And
that bozo done said.
Absolutely.
Right. Right,
And to go
Sheep.
along with your previous experiences and the things you saw women go through in your family, that
Yes.
basically um reassures that, well, I need to avoid this in order for me to be safe. I need
Yes.
I, I need to avoid that thought. I don't even want to go that route with it, dude.
Absolutely. You're so right. You just hit it on the head.
You see that?
Yes.
And then you become attached to that mindset. And in the end, guess what? You're happy. You're not happy, but you're content.
Speak facts, Sheep. You're speaking facts. And
You're
that
There you
goes to
go.
what you
There you
said to
go.
me
content.
earlier.
You're
You're
content
speaking
because you're
facts.
safe. But in life, we should want to be happy. See the difference? When you're content, we accept contentment because it's safety. It's a safety net.
Very, very well said.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's why. But see, that dude, that dude right there, he's a resistant.
Mhm.
He's angry and confused. See? And
Yep.
these are the type of people who create children and fuck up the psyche of these children. This is why I say healing is a process.
Mhm.
It's not an event. It's not going to change overnight. But this is something we have to consider. And this is why I brought this, I brought this to the forefront because this is something we have to consider when we say why we don't cooperate, why our relationships are broken between black men and women. Because you have broken women getting with broken men. This is why.
Facts.
Indeed.
Facts,
Indeed.
Sheep. Facts. 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 Facts, Sheep, all day. Facts.
And this is why I say before I end shows, we gotta heal before we build. Because
Yes.
if we try to build before we heal, we're going to keep inflicting self trauma on we're going to keep hurting ourselves.
And we're
We're
going to
going
end up
to keep
breaking.
perpetuating the shit that we say is hurting us. So before you get married, and I'm not saying you do this now, because a lot of us, like I said, for the most part, a lot of us done had children already. A lot of us are in relationships and a lot of us are trying to work to be better. But
Mhm.
we should teach the next generation, instead of taking a long route, go the short route and only be with secure people, only procreate with secure men and women,
Yes.
because then you will create a next
Facts.
generation of secure and progressive people.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
Very well said.
Actually, Sheep, you know what? I'm gonna be real. Can I keep it this gangsta? I'm gonna say this. I am a female, born to be a female. However, being around you, well, I always hung with bros. You know what I mean? Because I learned from my men. But being around y'all and watch y'all speak facts, here's what I'm gonna throw out to the ladies. And I'm not biased. I'm not a feminist. I'm none of that. But what just was spoken is facts. Either men and women, either you're gonna get it or you're not. And if you're not gonna get it, then you're not a part of I'm not gonna call it a movement, but the righteous movement, you're not a part of it. That means that we get talked to, we blue in the face. Y'all ain't gonna get it. You heard I say that? Real country. Y'all ain't gonna get it. Yo,
Right.
no, that ass. She just spoke a mouthful.
Right.
So
You
either
know what I'm
A,
saying? He definitely,
you're gonna
bro, definitely spoke a mouthful. Or I could have also been one of these females who had to, kick the baby daddy to the curb and got to raise all the kids by myself.
Yeah.
And instead of kids being a blessing, they're more of a burden because of the situation of me having to, because you had somebody in the chat, in your other chat before, saying that she had to get rid of her, baby daddies, and it's like, now you gotta, get it together on your own.
Well, let me speak about that, baby daddies. All right. I'm still connected to my kid's father. Okay. Catch that. When I say this ninja calls me about his relationships and I sit on the phone patiently and I hear everything going through, I give him advice. You heard me?
Yes.
Matter of fact, if you look at my video with the 4-year-old, it lets you know that I'm sitting there with, I don't like that word baby daddy, but I'm sitting there with with the sperm donor that gave she and I kids. But we got, well, damn, we working on 29 years now. She and I, we share the same sperm donor. And the first day that she came there at his house, I'm still connected to the family on his side. She asked me to do her hair, and we've been friends for damn near going on 29 years now. It was 28. Like, where your mindset at? Because at the end of the day, um, to me, that's just me. Women, and I'm talking to the women, like, get off yourselves and understand that before you met that ninja or before you got with him, situations occurred. And if you're gonna be with him and you know he got children, like either make peace with the girl. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. Niggas.
But I'm
Niggas.
not interested in raising a bunch of kids by myself.
I'm not talking about you. Because a person like you run for the border.
Right.
Don't listen. A person like you that don't have kids, listen, hunty girl, good. Run for the border. Let me tell you why. Them baby mamas are something else. No. I actually, let me tell you this, my twin. I envy you, be, and it's a good envy. I envy you because you have no kids. You don't have to put up with the shenanigans when you meet another ninja or a guy or good whatever. You listen, girl. No, I want to be you right now. No kids, no baby daddies, no baby mamas, no drama. Nobody hating on you because now they with your baby mama or your baby daddy and they come up for Kels. You are winning.
I mean, at the same time, I do feel like that because a lot of the baby mamas are very bitter and stressed out and tired.
That part. And you know what's crazy? You hit it. Cool. I mean, listen, you hit it right 100% on the nose. I know we're talking a lot. If you need to tell us to be quiet, but you hit it right in the nose, Kels. And when I say I envy you, it's a good envy, but a bad envy. You know, you my twin twin. I wish I could be you right now. No kids, no baby mama drama. And one thing about you, Kels, I realized you follow the bro. I just had a conversation with somebody today, and I was like, one thing about my whole life, even in high school, I hung with the bros. Everybody think that I was dating. No, I'm not dating your man. Like I hang with the bros. Let me tell you, I hang with the bros because they can tell me everything that they feel as a man that they don't like about us. So I was learning. You know what I mean? Why these mofos, I don't want to call them the B word, cautious, was really thinking like, I want, no, that's a, the, because they think like that, they're in a box. I'm not in the box. Kels, you remind me of me. That's why I call you twin. And that's why somebody else say you and Kels alike. But because I don't give a damn what you think about because I hang with y'all bros. Or I hang with the men if you think I'm dating them. I'm not thinking like y'all think. It goes back to what She Say Sleep said earlier. It's not about not about this man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put this out there. She said Sleep said he gonna do a piano on um and he tried Ty. I hope you're in here. Yeah, I wanna be with Ty. I wanna talk like you know what I'm talking about. Women need to hear some shit too.
Mhm.
Don't just check the men. What's in your wallet, bitches? I mean, oh, strike that from the record. I didn't mean to say
every every trick in the book.
bitches.
That's what's in their wallet. Every trick in the book.
That part. The fuck? What you talking about? All our men ain't bad, nigga. Like, sit your aspirin down.
Love Amanda.
Anyway, I call them bitches. I gotta repent.
If it walk like a duck, it quack like a duck is a duck.
It's a dog.
If it bark like a bitch is a bitch.
And you know what I've gotten? Because I follow all my men and on the other side, people start attacking. Oh, you now, first and foremost, what is bias? Because bias, first y'all said all the men are coming at the women. Well, I
Well,
mean,
like
and then
I,
they'll
I
turn
heard.
around. Wait, then they'll turn around. The same women that was in your chat supporting you, and now we go to the brothers chat and they speaking real, and it is what it is. Let's agree to disagree. Now you feel like I'm taking them inside. No, I'm taking truthful side.
Yes. Yeah. When it come down, when it come down to that, when they say that, the men are attacking the woman. I mean, like like Kendra say, if it don't apply, let it fly. And I sure do. I just let it fly.
Right. And you know what, poetic? That's where the issue coming at. Um, and I'm gonna throw this out there. The women that know that whether it's a female that say it or a male that say it, we touch your buttons. If I
Because
throw
it's the
a rock,
truth.
listen, if I throw a rock and you the first dog that bark, you're guilty.
You're
We didn't
very
call your name. We
because
didn't
the
call
guilty
your
always
name.
speaks first. The guilty always speaks first.
That part. Now, and with that being said, like there's a lot of people that I follow and I love them. And when they don't say things that I don't agree with, I learned agree to disagree. Forgot about it. Let's let the church look. Jesus put, hey, they said Jesus, we ran out of wine. He said he touched the water. Touch the water and keep it moving. Shut up. Let's agree to disagree. That's what grown people do.
But
You
see,
feel me?
you know what happens? What happens is like I said, both both classifications of attachment can apply to both genders. So you have a lot of resistant women. Those are the women who have chose to stay stuck in their predicament and to dwell in it and
Mm-hmm.
to become a victim of their own circumstance.
They,
Those are
Facts.
the resistant women. And at the root of those women is anger and confusion.
Facts.
at
Facts,
the
Chief.
same but at the same time, they still looking for a man to bail them out of their bitter little situation.
Right, right. Because at the end of the day, they're looking for a man to bail them out because they're confused on what they're supposed to do. They
And
don't
you're
know what to
100
do. They're lost. They're confused.
Mhm. Mhm.
and you're 100% cheap. Let me say this and throw this out there. Okay, sheep. When you guys are speaking facts, I wish. Well, let me leave that alone. I don't wish nothing. But here's the thing: Amanda Gathers. That's my whole full name. Amanda. Everybody knows how to spell that white shit name that my mother got off soap operas. But Amanda Gathers,
Oh
just like Feathers.
yeah, I remember Amanda from the soap opera.
Yeah. I asked my mom. I said, "Where'd you get my name?"
Was
I
that
don't
All
even like
My Children?
all my damn children.
Yeah, I thought so.
Anyways, back to what I'm saying. What I've come to learn that people ain't gonna agree with what we said. You heard, and at the same time, when okay, we are in the spiritual warfare. Catch that. And I think that if everybody realized that we are in a spiritual warfare, then you would get better what's going on. That did that make no, I think I said that wrong. You will understand better what's going on. Listen, righteous people, truthful people, people that's kicking the righteous knowledge that should be put out, we're going to be attacked. Think it not strange. Okay? With what I think poetic was you that said earlier, with somebody that came on the page and did this and that.
Hmm.
You
Blaming
listen.
people for her failures. That's pretty much
Yeah.
what we're doing.
So
And,
what I'm saying
and,
is this.
and dropping
We will be
that we're
attacked.
sinners and she's the failure.
Right. That's exactly what you said. So what I'm saying with that, even with that, what she said, you got two choices. Either involve yourself in the conversation because they said that, or ignore it and continue your missions.
Hmm.
When I said missions, end at the end, continue what God built us to do. And you, because we're righteous people, we're going to be attacked to try to be stopped. We can't be stopped. And the only way we can be stopped if we focus on what mofo is doing to us. I don't give a fuck about what they do to me. Matter of fact, let me throw this out there. Last night, the person that hacked my phone locked my phone. I couldn't do shit. But because I'm God's daughter, he got my shenanigans back. That's why I'm able to talk to y'all right now in the chat. That part. It's a spiritual warfare, people.
Yep, it's a fact. It's a war on energy. It's a
Yes,
fact.
yes, yes.
That's
And
a,
everybody,
that's a fact.
yes, and at the same time, you got to be careful with who you have babies by. Everybody's spirits don't mix well.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was just getting ready to say. And we've been
Right,
doing
right,
this.
bro.
We've been doing that over and over and over. This is why, you know, you see the dysfunction. This is why,
Absolutely.
we're on YouTube constantly wondering why we can't get it together. It's because of the things that were broken from the beginning. As I read in the beginning, a child is pre-programmed in the womb of a woman.
Hmm.
So if this woman has had a bad relationship with this man who just impregnated her and then he leaves her, what do you think she's up at night talking to her baby, telling her baby? And y'all wondering why y'all see the rise of effeminate black boys. The
Speak,
boys are
my
effeminate.
brother.
The
And
boys,
matter of fact, can I say this to you? I'm glad you brought that up. The feminism of our brothers today. Because listen, I want to do a panel on that. You are on point.
let's do
You
it.
are on point, and you are point.
Let's do it. Whenever you ready, just hit me up. But like I was saying, the reason why you see this is because the woman was telling that little boy that all he has is her.
Yes.
Mommy is going to protect you. Mommy's going to take care of you. Mommy's going to make sure nothing happens to you because mommy loves you. So when these boys come out the womb, they're attached to women. They're attached automatically. And then when they grow up with the absence of a man, he automatically clings to his mother out of a sense of fear because he doesn't know how to be a man and to navigate in the world. So he latches on to his security blanket, which is his mother. And in turn, he becomes his mother. He begins to act like his mother. This is what happens. This is the effeminization process. It starts way before, skinny jeans and all that shit. All that shit is a result of what I just talked about. So what y'all think about that?
I think
I
that is
want to
the
say,
truth because
I
a
want
woman can definitely not raise a man. So that's very good that you said that. That is the truth. They do come out, with that attachment to the mother, they become extremely feminine, and they start adapting women qualities.
yeah, and I want to say this. Everything that you said, I can't dispute it. I cannot disagree, on it. You hit the shenanigans all the way out the park, home run, that part. And me being a female, I'm trying to express this to people. And it goes back to what you said. When you're trying to tell, they're not listening, they don't want to accept. So at the end of the day, matter of fact, I'm gonna throw this out there. Revelations. Yeah, we know eat the meat, throw away the bone when it comes to her. But at the end of the day, the Most High Father said this time will come. So why we thinking it's strange? Why we act like we don't know what's going on? He said this time will come. Look, sheep, everything you just said is factual and actual. That's all I can say. You spoke damn near what I wanted to speak, and I'm done.
Yeah, because a lot of, a lot of people, they just speak on the results of what we're dealing with. They don't really a lot of us don't really go into the root of these causes, man. And I'm just that type of thinker. I want to know the origin of these problems. You know, like you have the rise of the masculine female. That is because of this girl is naturally a resistant. So what she does is she resents her femininity. So in turn, she becomes masculine to protect herself because what? She grew up an angry little girl. She grew up a confused little girl. That's why she want to be a boy and she running around here being a dyke because she grew up angry and confused on what it is to be a little girl. Or maybe she never had a chance, or maybe she had her innocence taken from her. And she don't understand why would somebody do that to her. She becomes angry and confused.
Can I speak, please? Hold on. Hello. Hello. Can I take? Hold on, I gotta mute you on this. Can I tell you this, sheep? You are 100% correct. You are 100% correct, though. You understand? With everything you just said, and let me throw this out there. You know, people don't like me to talk about it. Women, we do become confused. What he just said, I don't care. Try to be a tough cookie. Try to say you don't need no man. Try to say whatever, whatever. But even what she said earlier, before he said what he said, catch that. Yo, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt, but bruh, she, you are speaking facts. And I'm going to mute up.
And it's, it's our jobs, man, to us men and women, but mainly the men, the thinking black men, to we have to start making better choices, man. We have to start using the head that's on our shoulders, you know, because the guys who chase they dicks around, that is another tactic of being an avoidant. That's because a lot of men avoid manhood by just having sex with women because they think that is a representation of what a man is, to just have sex. And that's why a lot of those types of men who chase their dicks around, they choose to run from fatherhood. They're avoidant naturally. You see? That's why when the woman end up pregnant, it's like, oh, it ain't mine. Or who else you was having sex with? Because now it's time to man up. But you thought you was being a man because, she was moaning and groaning in the bedroom. You see? So we have to begin to reprogram, because this is about programming. You see, we have to reprogram. We have to reprogram. If you cannot fellas, if you cannot sit down and have these type of conversations with your women, you should not be procreating with her, because
Facts, bro.
she doesn't take procreation seriously if she's not willing to think about these things.
Facts, bro.
Women, you should not lay down and give yourself to a man if he doesn't understand these things, if he doesn't understand where he's at in his life within himself at that time.
Facts.
Because sometimes you also sometimes it's not always just cool to just cut off a relationship. Sometimes you got to let people grow into who they are or who they want to become. Sometimes you just got to give people time. Am I saying wait forever? No. But some people, you got to give them a little time, because some people don't understand. Some people are confused. Some people may have never heard of the attachment theory. They may have even, like I said in the beginning, they've touched on this, but they didn't understand that there was a science to this. They didn't understand it. We talked about it for so long, but we didn't know that this is actually a scientific theory. This is based on studies that they've done on children. And we talk about children as young as 2 and 3 years old. We're not talking about 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds. We talking about babies. We're talking about babies. So we have to understand what we're dealing with, y'all. So I'm not gonna keep y'all too much longer, man. Y'all got anything else y'all want to say before I close out? I appreciate y'all sisters for coming through, man.
I appreciate you, bro. This was a very, very good topic. I'm glad that you brought it up. You know, what you said, concerning what I said gave me a lot to think about. You know what I mean? You kind of opened my eyes to how I really am, so I appreciate that.
No doubt, sis.
I just want to say I truly appreciate you, Sheep, because you almost like a female of me. You know what I'm saying? And the topic today was well needed. And if anybody don't catch it, then that means you're not meant to catch it. You heard? You know what I mean? At the
Yeah.
end of the day, when we busy pointing fingers at one another, I'm gonna be like Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror. Because if you look at the man in the mirror, then you see yourself, then we could be already, you know what I'm saying, reaching another level better. You know what I mean? Stop saying it. You know, I mean, this was beautiful. That's why, Cheap, I follow you. You my bro.
Yes,
That's all I want to say.
and I want to say one more thing. Bro, you have been doing a very excellent job. Excellent, excellent job. I watched, you know, Summer Grinch live earlier, and very, very good live. It was good to see that you was a part of that. You're doing an exceptional job.
I
Exactly.
appreciate that. I appreciate that, y'all.
And at the same time, what you said, the Grinch Live or whatever. So I went in the Grinch Live earlier. I didn't know who they were talking about. Well, let me throw this out there. One thing about Amanda Getters, I follow righteousness. I try the spirit by the spirit. If your spirit don't quite set with me, you ain't got to worry about me following you no more. But I've learned that the people that I've been following with these past, the ones that I knew was righteous, I'm still following them. Catch that. But what I'm saying is, even the people in the chat, I so appreciate you guys because um I think, well, no, let me strike that from the record. I know that God is doing a mighty move. He's building his team. He's connecting people that's supposed to be here. He's winging out those mofos that don't. Okay, even with the stuff that on a social media, everybody going through. You guys, I'm talking about the people that's supposed to be together. You guys bless my soul. Oh, sheep stay sleep. I got you or my bro, and that's all I want to say.
I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for coming through tonight. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Much love. Like I said, I'm not gonna keep y'all too much longer. I thank y'all ladies for coming through. I appreciate all um y'all genuine support. I appreciate all of the good things y'all have to say. I'm humbled by it. I'm also pleased by it. Um, and I'm gonna just continue to expound on the heal before we build concept. Because like I said, this is my solution to what I think us as a people need. This is my solution. And like I said, I'm going to keep expounding on it. Um, but y'all know tomorrow is Friday or whatever. Well, right now it's Friday, but y'all know Saturday is Saturday Night Live. So get ready for that, y'all. We will have the Saturday Night Live this Saturday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Open panel, open chat. You know, I saw y'all was having fun earlier in my stream. So we could come back, we could talk about that. We could talk about whatever. So stay tuned for that. I will be back tomorrow, family. I appreciate all the love and support. This is DS1 Ross of Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And remember, y'all, we have to heal before we build. We have to heal before we build. Make sure y'all check out The Attachment Theory by John Bowlby. There's videos about it. Or you can just read about it. He also has a book called Attached. So check out the work of John Bowlby in The Attachment Theory. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good night. Y'all stay safe. DS1 is out. Peace.
Peace.
Blessing.